Which brings us to our next segment, the wonderful Movie Year Showdown. I'm being told that we're going to get a theme song eventually, but in the meantime, we'll just keep doing that. Last time, we tried our best to fairly compare 1978 top 10 to 1984's top 10, and it was not a competition
it was
at
not
all.
a comparison.
It
That
blew
was
it out of the water.
slaughter.
Obviously,
Yeah.
1978 Semi-Tough, starring Burt Reynolds, was a superior movie that made that one the winner. Okay, so but this episode, we have got 1990 versus 1994. Ooh. And each year has some strong contenders on this one. I'm going to say each one of these years was fundamental to my childhood. I watched a lot of these. Okay, so let's start it off.
So old.
Actually, I've watched almost all of these, and it's, you know what? It's taken since 1990 for me to get around to watching some of these, but I did it, damn it. Okay, so let's start it off. 1990. We'll talk about these individually, but let me get through the list. Home Alone. Number 2, Ghost. 3, Dances with Wolves. Pretty Woman. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, or TMNT. The Hunt for Red October. Total Recall, Die Hard 2, Electric Boogaloo, Dick Tracy, and Kindergarten Cop versus 1994's The Lion King, Forrest Gump, True Lies, The Mask, Speed.
No Jim Carrey impression? Really? I'm hurt. He's Canadian. You should do better.
The Mask.
There you go.
Speed. Speed. The Flintstones. There's really no impression I can do for the Flintstones. I can't do a John Goodman, sorry. Dumb and Dumber. Clear and Present Danger. Interview with a Vampire. And Pulp Fiction. So which one? So let's go down the list. Let's talk through them all. Let's talk, because these are bangers.
Right,
I'm not gonna lie. I mean, now I would say on average 8 out of 10 per year are bangers, and there's 2. Let's just say not as great. Let's just say 1990s. Well, 2 movies that you would say maybe not the top 10. Probably grossed well because that was the taste. Oh yes, Dick Tracy definitely, and Die Hard 2. That's mine.
All right, but here's the thing. The whole I'm a
Die
little
Hard 2
Die Hard
still
in
dying.
general.
It's
You know what
not
I mean?
as good as the
not
first or
as
third.
good, but do I think that it's better than like
It's Temple of Doom
Clear and Present
level.
Danger? Like if I look across the list and I look at like where those 8 sit, like it's a better 8.
All right, let's see. Let's look at this trailer from Die Hard 2, The Dying.
Washington,
The Die
D.C.
Hardening.
International Airport.
What's this
It was,
about?
yeah.
Oh, just a feeling I have. Ouch. When you get
Oh,
those
look at
feelings,
that.
insurance
He
companies
didn't
start
know
to
that,
Look
but
at
he was
this.
going to be real cool with his eyebrow
Lost
sliced.
control.
I was going to
Damn
come dig in 30
straight.
years from
Backup system. We've got blizzard conditions. Zero visibility.
Attention all controllers.
Reginald Vell Johnson, who's an LA cop evidently being talked to by
Professional mercenary. You got the world's biggest
him
drug dealer on his
in
way
Washington,
here now. What are you,
D.C.,
this fly
sure.
rule to figure this out? You get the hell out of my office before I throw
Yeah.
you out of my damn airport.
And terror on the ground.
Who is this?
in
Who I
dinner
am
on
is
the
unimportant.
ground.
What I want is very important.
Oh, we are just up to our neck in terrorists again, John.
But for police officer John
Oh.
McClane,
Oh, that hurts.
it's just another
What's
Christmas.
up to our necking terrorists again, John?
At the wrong time.
It's just another Christmas.
Story of my life.
Caught ourselves maybe 2 hours. After that, those planes low on fuel aren't going to be circling. They're going to be dropping on the White House wall.
Love that
Any
actor.
attempt to
We
restore
just
your
bought ourselves
systems will be
2
met by
hours.
severe penalties.
Somebody out there. It's McClane. Put it up!
Wife's plane, they're going to run out of fuel in 90 minutes.
What are you gonna do? Whatever I can.
Last time,
Yes,
flew you through the back wall of the theater.
Practical effects, man.
Right too rough? I
because there was no CGI, baby.
I don't like the lose either.
This time, it'll
Wilhelm
blow you
scream!
sky high.
Is what you expected?
blowing up a plane.
In the trailer.
It's just the beginning. On July 4th,
In the trailer.
Die Hard.
That was showing the final explosion of the
Willis.
bad guy in the
Die
trailer.
Hard 2.
What is up, products and terrorists again, John?
That music.
Like, oh my god, yeah. I mean, I'm gonna say Die Hard 2 later, when it was showing on TV, gave us the greatest TV censorship that has ever existed. Of, you know, the classic line of Die Hard, yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. You couldn't do that on TV. Oh, no, no, no. So they changed it to yippee-ki-yay, Mr. Falcon. And it was the dumbest cover-up. Even to the point of, I was like the guy who did like the voiceover for, like, I think it was like WB they were showing it on at the time. And it was like, Mr. Falcon. There wasn't even a Mr. Falcon in the movie. And like, that's what killed me, was that even like the announcer for the movie was like, who's Mr. Falcon? Like, but you know what? Yep, still, I'm going to call it the stinker. I'm going to call it the stinker of the year. It was just, I mean, because they all have to be. Hold on, let's go to Dick Tracy. Can we please cut to Dick? Because I was actually watching this before we did the episode, because I haven't seen the Dick Tracy trailer in a while. And yeah, you can absolutely see why Dick Tracy did not exactly hold up. There we go.
It's like he's reading my mind.
Extra, Tracy down the road!
Tracy, he's reading my mind.
Bomb out of the headlines. I'm rubbing him out.
That was Prune Face, by the way.
I say we kill Tracy now.
You challenge me, we all go down!
Are you gonna arrest me?
I want to know who killed
Madonna.
Lips Manless.
Not the bad, big boy, not the bad! I know, and I'm gonna miss you, but all's fair in love and business.
How many times can we cut to Madonna in a different costume? Just Tommy gun. You know what? We got some spare time. Oh, we got 20 seconds. Just put some Tommy gun.
Wow. It's the blue and the yellow. I don't know who they hired for graphic design at this point, but it doesn't hold
Danny
up.
Elfman
It doesn't
did music
fit, and it
on
doesn't
that. That
make
makes-
sense.
That's it. I got him. It's making a mockery of us. Yeah, that was. Whoo, boy. Okay.
That was rough.
That was. But you know what? Let's talk about the bangers of this year. Home Alone, Given, Ghost. That, I don't know why Ghost still works. Like, that was clearly
Ghost
the
is
cheesiest
amazing.
That was the cheesiest
classic.
rom-com, but it worked, damn it.
You want
worked.
to walk behind every woman and help her shape the clay, Jared. You want to walk behind every woman and, like, take her
To
hands
this
and
day,
shape
I
things.
do. 34
Like, yes.
years later, I still
Good
want. That's
director.
the scene. That's the scene. Look at this. With
They made a
Denise.
movie about candles, and this was the
Damn
director's
it.
reference scene.
Every movie with Swayze makes me crazy.
I might go watch Ghost tonight. I haven't seen Ghost in a long
I'm
time.
not
Ghost
gonna
is a
lie,
great
I
fucking
might watch
movie.
it tonight. Damn.
I don't think my partner's seen Ghost. I think I might be able to sell him on this.
I think your partner hasn't seen a lot of things. I think that's also
That's
a running
the
gag
truth.
of me, and it's a race between me and him of who's seen less. But I got to see one of my favorite actors, Stephen Root. I love Stephen Root. He's absolutely always been that guy. He's a fine Texan, as I may say, as from one Texan to another. I love that man. Anyway, but yeah, okay. Again, talking about the bangers, we're gonna be talking about Ghost, Dances with Wolves,
It's fucking
Pretty
great.
Woman, TAM,
Pretty Woman.
Teenage Mutant Ninja
We
Turtles.
need to take a minute. We need to take a minute for Pretty Woman, because Pretty Woman is fucking iconic.
I think half of this episode is us gonna be watching these trailers, and it's not a bad thing. Hold on, let me
It's not bad.
like Hunt for Red October, which is not a bad movie. It's not great for a rewatch, but it's still a good. I mean, I love a good submarine
It's a
movie. I don't know why,
classic.
but I like submarine movies. There's something about a submarine that makes it just, you know.
You, the nerd, like
and-
a submarine movie? No, I never would have
I
guessed.
do. I don't. U571 is fan. But also, yeah, and then Total Recall, which is, I mean, if you're a sci-fi action nerd, you're gonna be quoting Total Recall. That's up there with oh my god, what is the one? Blade Runner. Like, as
Blade
in, like,
Runner, yes.
futuristic, cyborgs and everything. Like, yeah, that's up there. You're gonna include Total Recall, and even fun as hell, Kindergarten Cop. Like, He's a cop who has to go undercover as a kindergarten teacher because there's a drug ring that's tied to this elementary school. That was just fun. That was fun as shit, you know? Like, no complaints about that. 1990 it started the 90s, okay? And the 90s were a completely different vibe for films.
It was. The 90s were an entirely just different vibe for cinema in general. Just, and like, I think we talked about this in a different episode, in the sense that you had now had home video. Stuff was going direct to you. It wasn't just the theaters anymore. It's like, there was a whole new market for how you were showing movies. And I think that's where we start to feel that in 1994 with The Lion King. There's a very steep jump in age gap between these viewers of like who watches the 1990 list versus who watches the 1994 list. The 12-year-old, like the 7 to 12-year-old lives for the 1994 list, and the 16 to 24-year-old lives for the 1990s list. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's so hard. I mean, we're talking about like 1994, The Lion King. When the Lion King came out, that was African animated Hamlet, and it was perfect. Okay, that was a beautiful movie. I learned Hakuna Matata. It meant no worries. Okay, and then Forrest
Do you
Gump.
have worries today, Jared? You have worries today.
I don't. I've lived my life and like Timon and Pumbaa told me to. Okay, I followed those rules when I was a kid. I'm like, all right, this is what we got to do. Hakuna Matata, let it go. It means no worries. Eat some grub worms. And then we got Forrest Gump, which do we even have to talk about the significance of Forrest Gump? Because god dang, Tom Hanks. That was like, if there was Tom Hanks is doing pretty good. He's got pretty good drama. Forrest Gump. Bam, there he goes. Like, time-tested one.
Timeless.
And then
Timeless.
True Lies,
which
is
amazing.
Is so much fun. It is one of the best blends of comedic action and Jamie Lee Curtis in one of her finest roles in the 90s. Oh my goodness, I love Jamie Lee Curtis in that. She's such a bad bitch. I love her so much.
There was a Canadian producer,
1994. There's
Insider Baseball on True Lies. So there's a Canadian producer that got offered the True Lies script, and passed.
The idiot. Why did he pass?
It passed. He didn't think the writer
Why
was going
would
to
you pass on Arnold and Jamie?
Yeah, it didn't have cast attached yet. It was just the script. It didn't have cast attached yet.
Oh, they didn't have. Okay, you know what? I could probably see that
at the time.
Look, that was one of the few movies that was good despite Tom Arnold. Okay, no offense to Tom Arnold, but he can be a weakness. But he was good in this.
Right on time.
Right?
I don't believe I've met you before.
Oh, and her, I forget her name. She was from, I want to say from Wayne's World, but hold on. Oh, Tia Carrera. That's right, Tia Carrera. I miss her. She's fun.
Sure. Here's my invitation.
Look at this.
God, he really just was the action star.
He was the action star, but absolutely. But in the 90s, he was like, this is when he was turning to comedic. He knew that he was getting old. He's not selling action as well as he would because he's in his, I think, 40s at this point. So he had to go comedic. That's why he had Kindergarten Cop 4 years prior, and you got True Lies now.
She's sort of an amazing range for James Cameron as a director. To be this talented in regards to action, that talented in regards to Titanic and Sail and history and like.
So was it 2 years? I mean? 2 years later is Titanic?
Yeah.
Curtis. Have you ever killed anyone? Yeah, but they were all bad. True Lies. What can I say? I'm a spy.
That movie honestly had everything. You had action, you had comedy, you had romance.
Everything.
You had political diplomacy, a little spying on the little spy network on there. You had high tech. I remember the scene they're going through the X-ray and they had the guns and they're like, "Hi to the," like the girl behind the thing, whatever. Like it had everything. I love that movie.
So
that was
good.
a fun ass movie.
You have to talk about Pulp Fiction on this list because here's the thing: it's Tarantino.
Oh, we're gonna get to Pulp Fiction. We're gonna get to Pulp Fiction. What I want to talk about right now is how 1994 was the year of Jim Carrey. There was The Mask, there was Dumb and Dumber, and there was the third that's not on this list, and I want to talk to my producers about it, Ace Ventura. was 1994. Okay, Ace Ventura, the superior Jim Carrey movie, I would say, of the
That probably
three.
does need to be on this list over The Mask.
That needs to be on this list. Now, again, looking back, you're like, wow, that got really weirdly homophobic in the last 10 minutes. But you know what? Other than that, it was still a great movie. And The Mask was fantastic. I loved that. And Dumb and Dumber was hilarious and timeless. Fantastic actors in all of them. That was the explosion. He went from In Living Color to In Living Color to your theaters. Like, that's what happened to Jim Carrey.
Good for him.
Okay, so now let's talk about Pulp Fiction, because I was actually watching some of this yesterday, casually. I was watching Pulp Fiction, and it was on. Like, it was on one of the channels, and my wife was like, hell yeah, we're gonna watch. It was like somewhere in the middle, and oh, that made Samuel Jackson's career. That brought back John Travolta.
So good.
That
Everything
was
about this movie is so good. The sets, the
everyone in
props,
this
the
movie is
looks,
so good.
all of it, all so good.
The acting, the person, like John Travolta wouldn't still be talked about if it weren't for this movie. Harvey Keitel, he's just Harvey Keitel, is always great. Samuel Jackson, this made him. Ving Rhames, made him too. Bruce Willis continued. He was already big.
Effortlessly cool.
I love you, honey bunny.
Oh, they was.
What's Fonzie like?
Cool.
Correctamundo.
Correctamundo.
Like the tiles, all of it's so goddamn cool.
Bam.
Ah.
I mean, if you're talking about that movie made Quentin Tarantino. Yeah, he did Reservoir Dogs before that, but I mean, didn't do what Pulp Fiction did.
No, it
didn't. To this day, every movie producer, every director, every actor, anybody who has anything to do with films, Pulp Fiction is absolutely what helped inspire them. That movie was beautiful. That was a thing of beauty. It was different as hell than anything else before that. It is similar, obviously, because Quentin Tarantino himself will say, yeah, I took influences from like everything I've ever seen. But the way that was put together, the incomplete timeline the thing was set on, how different storylines interweaving, the beauty of that, every bit about Pulp Fiction.
He threw all the
the rest of, you can arguably say the rest of the 90s would have been different without the influence of Pulp Fiction. That's one of those movies that influences movies after that.
I heard from somebody he took all the cue cards with all the scenes and threw them on the floor. And that's how he refigured out the order for Pulp Fiction. Something like that. No, it's fucking crazy. Also, he did True Romance before this. He has a couple of movies before this, but nothing like this.
Nothing like it.
Okay,
no.
Go read Cinema Speculation. I know that I've talked about it on this podcast before, but go read that book. He reads the first two chapters. But it's about every movie he's ever seen. He goes through every single movie he's ever seen, how he felt about it, what his emotional reaction was to it, unpacks was it actually a good movie, and then talks about its cinematic impact moving forward and even its own cinematic on his style. It's so good. If you're a cinema nerd, that's for you. If you're a writer, director, actor, you need to go listen to this book.
All of them. I remember in high school, in theater class, I had to do a monologue, a brief monologue, whatever, of, I think it was a poem. I had to do a poem. And I did Ezekiel 25:17. Because I was such an idiot. It was 1999, I think, or 2000. I didn't think anybody had seen Pulp Fiction. So I was like, this is obscure. No one will ever see it. So I did Ezekiel 25:17. And the teacher's like, yeah, you just took that from the movie. You have to do it again. You have to redo your assignment. And I was like, what? What are you talking about? No, it's not this. Anyway, I remember getting in trouble because of that movie. But yeah. If there was any movie on these 10 lists that were influential, Pulp Fiction is absolutely out of the 20 that we're talking about today.
Well, and that's what I mean. But I think if you're starting to talk about the top 20 movies of filmmaking, I think Pulp Fiction is very easily in that top 10. You know what I mean? So I think when you look at these lists,
it's a movie made by movie lovers, by a movie lover. And so it's other movies had to have existed to get to Pulp Fiction. So it's not like it wasn't in isolation like a no movie really is. And that's, man,
That's the nature of art, though, dude. Like, that's all art has to coexist with life, because art's a mirror of life, and one is dependent upon the other in order for self-reflection, right? So it's...
I almost felt like I need to drag on the cigarette. Like, this is life. But then I think the only way we could follow up Pulp Fiction is talking about the Flintstones, which is obviously, pound for pound goes right next to each other. Which,
honestly,
if we could say, if there's one
John
stinker
Goodman in that movie.
I'm not saying it was bad. I'm just saying it was not good.
No, man, I watched this movie so
It
many
wasn't
times.
bad. It wasn't a bad movie, but it was like, what the hell happened?
You were like 16 and I was like 10, and 10-year-old Sarah was here for this movie.
Okay, I'm not that old. I wasn't 16 when this movie came out. but look at that. Look, computer graphic Dino. That's not bad. For 1994, that still looks good.
It's not terrible.
I mean, thank you Jurassic Park, I think, that came out before this. So we had dinosaur technology.
I love that this woman effortlessly puts back up a door
Effortlessly?
and like
You know that weight 200 pounds. That's a 200-pound door.
That's fucking badass. Hell yeah.
Woo, all of that shit. Elizabeth Perkins.
There's nothing wrong with this one. All right, you.
It's basically John Goodman doing a Honeymooner's impression, which really is what Flintstones was a Honeymooner impression.
Yeah, it was the Honeymooners for the baby tots.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like it's got to be 94 because it's Forrest Gump.
Okay, if we're deciding which year is gonna be 1990 versus 1994, your suggestion?
I'm going with 94. 94 is
I'm
got
going
a
with
stronger
94.
pick. I
I'm going with 94.
love Ghost. I love Pretty Women.
Yes. No, not to say that 1990 was bad.
They're great, but like if there's a winner, the clear winner is 94.
I mean, absolutely. I would say 1994 would be a winner for me, too. We didn't even touch on Interview with a Vampire and how gorgeous that movie is and influential for any bisexual person that ever grew up and watched that movie. It was absolutely like, yes. Like it is the movie. I want to dress like they did in Interview with a Vampire just every day, just like it looked like I'm in the early 1800s. But you know what? Honestly, yeah. Aside from Clear and Present Danger and the Flintstones, which were not bad, I would say, yeah, 1994. That's my pick for the best.
NOP.
Yes,
NOP.
Thank you. We chose that well. Thank you, audience. This is all to you. We have decided it is done. Case closed. Now, in the comments, if you would like to come at us and defend 1990, we'll see you in the comments, okay? Understandable. Like 1990, solid. It was solid,
It's
but
got some solid tracks, but
and guaranteed out of our two producers, one of them's gonna love 1990 just because, and we're gonna find out. Yeah, that's absolutely how that goes.